Alrighty, hello and welcome back to another episode of Tokyo Ghoul Break My Ass with 1,000 questions in the Discord, but we're gonna solve that with these videos here. So this one's gonna be a short one. We're gonna go over what assists are, and this is gonna be a new player-oriented video, of course, just like any other one. But that is why we have our free-to-play account over here. In this one, we are gonna be jumping to our main just to show you guys, the new players especially, the backup, the assist, my bad, with the aid skill. No, I'm not making that up. That is actually a thing. So for now, we're just gonna go over the assist without the aids, as they say, completely normal. But let's go over it. So what, as the game tells you, the slot that is over here, this is the assist, as it literally says right there. Now, here's the problem, and this is perfect also because the free play account is brand new, and we can see exactly what the assists do, right? So we have 5 units in the box, right? And then 5 units as assists. So that's a total of 10. That is lineup 1. Let's say we want to make a second team. That's going to be not another 5 units, but rather a total of 10 units, because you have to include the assists as well. If you're just starting out, the assists are not so important. Once all of your characters are 6 stars, meaning that they have a D, like this Uta that I have placed my cursor on, that is when you need to worry about the assists. And not just when you have one of your units to max, but all of them. Like, let's say this Naki, all of these Utas, and the Hide and the Orochi, all of them are D, and that's when you worry about the assists. Before that, you don't need to worry about them. You can get them out of the way, but like, worrying about them is a different thing. So what do they even do? Basically, let's look at this Rize over here. So as it says below it, but reading is hard, right? When you put this Rize in this Orochi's assist slot, it's gonna give Rize's stats to Orochi. Look at Orochi's stats. It's 35,000 right now, his attack. When you put in Rize, that increases by the number that was specified by Rize. Now, how are these stats calculated? You click on details, and that's gonna show you Rize's own attack, which is 35,000, right? So the game converts that into, like, it straight up removes a 0 from there. So as you can see, it's 3500 and not 35,000. So that's how the stats are calculated. Now, the reason why I'm showcasing this Rize specifically as an assist is because, let's say we have this Shinohara over here. When like, let's say I want to use him as an assist. For this guy over here is a SR unit. Of course, I would like to have him over him, right? So we go details, but what's this? We see that the attack stat is 17,000, but rather than removing 10 from the end or the last digit, it whoops, where is he? Oh, I didn't even have the assist selected. That's why it didn't show. Alright, so as you can see, instead of it being whatever it was, it's 700, which is nowhere near what his actual stat is. And the reason for this is because he does not have any stars, and this is also showed in the CP box below the character itself. This Rize has all 6 dots glowing beneath her, whereas this Tatra does not have any stars beneath him. The glowing dots beneath him are the stars, and that is why this SR unit is over here. Because even though let's say let's just take him as an example. So he's giving 600 stats, right? And he's only at level 17. But this Shinohara is a higher rarity unit, but at the same time is way higher level than him. But the stat difference is not that much between them. In fact, if I level this whatever this guy's name is even once, he will give more stats than Shinohara right off the bat. And the reason for this is simple, because of the stars. And that is why I told not to worry about the assists as a beginner. Just like brand new account, don't worry about them. As soon as you have everyone D, that's the reason when you worry about them, is because they need to be starred. And there are some simple ways to do this. you can just use the free-to-play characters that the game gives you at the start. If we go over here to Arena, these are 4 free-to-play characters that you can just start up just from here. Like just log in every day, play the arena mode, get a good rank, and then just buy these out every day, and you'll be good. Like you'll just have it by the time, even before the time your entire team is maxed out, you will have a set of 6-starred assists. Like I guarantee that. And you also have them in the org. I personally would not get these after you've 6-starred them, because there are some other good stuff over there. But so that's like the basic stuff. You want to have more stars on the assists. You want to make sure that the assists are leveled, and you even if the game shows you that this guy is giving more CP, he's ranked higher up over here, and you don't want to put that. You want to put it manually yourself, whoever's high star. What I mean by that is, you have 5 slots over here, right? Let's do an auto. So as you can see, it jumbled up my team, and the reason because is that it puts everyone in the order of CP. Right now, the most CP unit in my team, like the one who's ranked highest in terms of CP, not in terms of anything else, just CP, is Orochi. After that, Uta, Nagi, and then you can see the rest, right? However, notice something. After Hide, there are still characters that are ranked according to CP. However, since we don't have the space to fit them in, they go in the backup state. So let's say, for example, we did have a 6 slot over here. That's where Tatra would go. And since we don't, they go in the assists, which is also calculated in terms of CP. Like this is all in terms of CP. Let's say we were to go over. Oh. Let's say we are to remove a couple of units completely, right? And we do it all over again. As you can see, still the same result. Let's say we remove this Chatra and this Yamori, and we do it again. Still the same. And this is because the game just puts them in accordance to CP, not in accordance to the actual stats that they provide, right? Now, for example, some of these units may be able to give me more stats than what I have right now, but the game is not putting it simply because of CP. It's not going to be very obvious in this account, but that's why we're now going to be jumping into our main. It's going to be much more easy to see what's going on over there because the stats are going to be higher. Just give me a second. Alrighty, we are back. So over here, if we go over here, so we have this lineup, right? Let's say, now look at the order of Noro, Uta, and this Ayato. I'm going to remove all of them, and I'm going to carefully place them inside the team, and you need to watch what happens. Again, they go into the backup slot automatically. Ignore why the Naki was here. I purposefully need to put him over here because he's a backup, and I can't put him like this. That's why it moved up like this, but the assists remain the same, and this is because they give the most CP and not necessarily the most stats. So you need to pick them out yourself at times, because again, these might not be giving. Now usually what happens is the unit which has the most CP should normally give you the most stats, right? But always that is not the case. Now if we move to the second team over here, so over here you will realize that this Hide over here, this is the perfect example because he's over there and he gives 6,000 attack, right? However, if we were to put Noro over here, he gives more attack. And let's say it was not Tatra over here, it was someone else, so you would want to put Noro instead of Hide over here, because the stats that Hide gives are lesser than like the units that are below him only in some stats, not all of them, and that's because Hide is a support unit. Of course he's not gonna have the highest attack, and that is why you need to pick them out yourself and like manually adjust them, and you just don't want to always do this. As you can see, again, these exact same order. So yeah, that's basically all that is to assist. They are only there for CP, And as far as the normal ones go, I'm gonna go into the special assists in a second. But before we do that, there is something else to cover over. So this Orochi was used in the backup, right? Now notice the stuff that's on him. By that I mean the cells and the potentials. So let's just go back and see the CP he gives, or the stats he gives. Where is he? Alright, let's save that. So as you can see, Ayato, the wit one, is at 75,000 attack. So when we take off the Orochi, it's at 69,000. So he gives 6,500 attack. But let's say we go over here and we take off his cells, right? Now, when we go back, we will notice that Orochi suddenly gives way less stats, and that's because, like I said before, once the unit is 6-starred, the stats that is shown of the unit itself, just one digit is removed behind that, and the entire stat is just given out in the assist. Now, it went from 59 to 65, and when we go back to Ayato, as you can see, whoops, I just keep clicking the wrong slots for some reason. As you can see, it went from 59 to 65. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the more the stats the base unit has, the more stats it will give in the assist slot. Now, how do you get more base stats? Well, that's really simple actually. You just need to completely kit them out with cells. You need to do everything that gives them stats. Bonds, potentials, their level, and like MR them all the way. Of course, the most important thing is the stars. And then one thing that also makes a difference, which was not there before, is the tactics. Let's go over Orochi. As you can see, these tactics also give stats, and this stats is added as well. So let's say we remove this shield tactic, right? Actually, let's keep that on. Let's remove this one because this gives a lot more stats. It'll be easier to see. So if we go back to Orochi, as you can see, we lost 1,000 attack, which is 100 attack lost in the assist state. Now that might not seem a lot. In all honesty, it's not actually a lot, and the reason for this is because, again, an entire digit is removed from the base stats. So it's not like all of it is getting over. Only a portion of it is getting placed in the assist. So the CP or the stat boost you're gonna get by putting all of this stuff inside the assist character is very low. And actually, I would not even worry about it as a newer player. I would just worry about the stars though, because that is important. Like, then that is what gives the most amount of difference in the assist slot. But let's say all of your assist slots are maxed out as well, right? So what then? Then you can work to putting stuff inside them that matches your main team. For example, right now, my Ayato has all rainbows, but this Orochi does not. So as you can see, I'm working on that, and that is the next step that I can do to improve the team. So that is basically min-maxing. For new players, the only thing they need to worry about is the stars. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the basic stuff. Now we're gonna go over some advanced stuff. But before doing that, there's one thing I need to tell, is that as you can see, the placement of these units is very similar to the placement of the units over here. For example, Noro is in my second team, and Noro is over here. Uta and Orochi are in my third team, and they are also in the assist slot. And the reason for this is very simple. When you build out your second team, which you're gonna need for various modes in the game, you normally want to use that as assist for your first team in, let's say, arena and everywhere where you can, right? Except for 3v3, you don't want to use that there, or you're just nerfing yourself. So you make two teams and you use the second team as the assist for the first team. Now this might sound very stupid at first, but let's consider that you make an entire team out of just assist units, right? Just units which have aids on them. So these aids units, just imagine having an entire team of them. That's gonna be useless. That's not gonna do you any good. Like you're not gonna be able to use them anywhere, because in actual battle, all of these are useless except for maybe him. But like you can't make a team out of them. So what you rather do is you make a second team, which you were gonna do anyway, right? And you put the stuff on them because it's your second team, right? The cells, the potentials, and then you use that as assist for the first team where you don't need the second team. Where you need the second team, of course, don't do that. Like that's just stupid. Don't do that. But that's how you like get the most CP for your first team. In the majority of use cases, your first team is gonna be used, not all three of them or all two of them. So you're safe to do that. Now let's move to the AIDS units. Yes, the infamous backup units, assist units. I just keep calling them backup. So what these are is the reason they're like have an entire whole category all by themselves is because these units, for example, let's go back over here and look at this Naki. This Naki is horrible on field. His only purpose in life is to be put in this backup slot. That is why when when we auto it, even though he has more CP, I want to put him over here because he's the backup unit. Do bear with me if someone experienced with the game is watching it, because I'm making this for exclusively new players. So this Naki is like, he's resorted to the back of the field. He's not intended to be out on the field. He's a backup unit is what I'm trying to get at. Same goes for assist units. Now, the assist units that you see right now are just normal units that can be used on the field. I'm just putting them there, but there are some units that are exclusively meant to go there. For example, this lady, the shoe, the anniversary Ammon, and currently these are the only assist units in the entire game. There are very few of them, and thankfully out of them, most of them you can get just from the crystal exchange. So quite easy to get them. In fact, very easy to get them. You just need to play the game a little bit and you'll have them. So these are not even like hard to get. So but like once you have them, they exclusively go over there. Now why these are different than the other assist units is what I'm going to be explaining here. As you can see, they have a special symbol on top of them. You did not get this when you use the normal units, and when you click on them, as you can see, it tells you what that special assistance stuff does. So as you can see, the aura increases the max HP for 2 turns and shit, and then the shoe is like gives the shield every time you lose health. So every one of them has unique quirks. This might not seem very useful at first, but when you stack all of them against each other, that is going to be actually useful. But here's the problem. All of these units, like I said before, are not usable on their own, except for this Amon. Even then, let's just consider them, all of them, useless. This is their only purpose. So you're not going to be putting all of your good equipment on them, and that is why they're never going to show up in the assist slots when you auto it, because they're never going to have enough as much CP as your second team, like, or whatever it is that you're using in your second team. Even if it's a bunch of random units, these are never going to show up on their own, even if they're 6 stars. For example, here when I auto it, they don't show up, and that's because they'll never have enough CP to show up here naturally unless you specifically build them out, which I would never recommend. Like, actually don't do that unless you somehow have enough stuff to like put on them after you're done with your second team. At that point, you shouldn't even be watching this video, but I digress. So that's the thing with these. They are useful in the game, but they're super end game. Like, by the time you can you actually use them, you'll be so late into the game that you don't even have to think about them. You can just fill them out, and when you click auto, they'll just come in on their own. So yeah, new players can build them out from the crystal exchange, but just know that you're not gonna be able to use them until very later, because if you do, you're actively nerfing your second team. And I don't think any new player is gonna be even having the time to worry about second teams and assists and all that stuff when they're not even done building their main team. So yeah, don't get those. Like, this is the crystal exchange I was talking about. This aura, this Roma, sorry, as you can see, is an assist unit. I'm gonna be getting that, but anyone else who's just starting out would rather get, let's say you're Aogiri, go for the Naki, go for the Tatra, and you get the point. Like don't go for that, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's gonna be all for the assists. A TLDR is more stars, the better. Don't go out of your way to get them. Only get them once go out of your way to get them once your main team is done. By the time you already have some good assists by then, like, but what I mean by that is free to play units just maxed out. And when you are even beyond that point, when you have more than a team, use the second team as the assist for the first one. Everywhere where only one team is required, where more than one is required, don't do that. You will be nerfing yourself. And then when you're at a point where you have so much stuff where you can put where you can even afford to put them on the assist units, well, at that point you don't even need to watch any video to know what to do. As you can see over here, I'm currently working on the assist unit myself. I'm not quite there, quite there yet, and that's because I had the bright idea to merge all of my UR tactics to try to get an 11. But hey, that's a story for another day. I think. It's funny I said it's gonna be a short one. Hey, I digress. But that's gonna be it for this one. Hopefully I didn't stretch it out too long, but we'll see. If you have any doubts in the comments, do let me know. Yeah, I'm gonna see you in the next one.